Hey, Smart News. I really need your help today. I'd love your feedback. So, I'm constantly brainstorming at ways to serve you better because I really want you to love the news again. I want the news to work for you. And so, even when we have different ideas, I have different ideas about where Smarter News, how Smarter News should grow. If they don't work for you, it doesn't really matter. So, today I thought, you know what, instead of like thinking about this all the time, I'm just going to do a rehearsal for you guys, and then you could tell me what you actually think. My main concern is that I think our morning reports are too long. I think they're getting too long, and it's because I really like talking to you on Instagram Lives, but maybe having another option that's a little bit shorter would be better for you too. That way you could get the news quickly. Nonpartisan news fast is one of the main missions of Smarter News. So I took that 13-minute report. I wrote a script. I normally don't follow a script. I just ad lib. And I'm going to see what you think about this 3-minute report. And your feedback really will help me understand like what's the best use of our resources. So here we go. I should end about 4:15 if all goes well. And then of course I'll say goodbye to you because that will be about a 3-minute report. Okay, guys, here we go. Gotta breathe, gotta work it up. All right. Hey, Smarter News. Here's your top stories in 3 minutes for October 28th, 2021. It is report card time. We're getting updates on everybody and everything from companies to the consumer. So let's back up a little bit. You really matter. And I'm not saying that in some sort of self-help guru sort of way. I'm saying that in a fundamental economic way. You really matter to the U.S. economy. Consumer spending is responsible for 2/3 of economic activity for the largest and most powerful economy in the entire world. So if you stop spending, you can actually bring the economy to the halt. And we don't want that. In fact, nobody on the planet actually wants that. And that's why the news this morning is really important because we got a reading on economic activity. And what it showed is that the economy was growing at a rate of about 2%. That 2% in and of itself doesn't mean that much, but what's important is that it's slower than previous periods, so slower than the beginning half of the year and lower than expected. And one of the reasons for that is that consumer spending slowed down quite significantly. Now, is that because you stopped spending because you spent a lot at the beginning of the year when the economy sort of opened up in earnest, or is it because of supply chain issues? Is it a combination? We don't actually know. What's really important is that slowdowns in general are not viewed as positive news. We don't know if this just is a one-off or if it's a trend, but it won't necessarily sound alarm bells, but it'll raise some eyebrows, a little eyebrows of concern. Now, kind of buffering this news is that companies are reporting how they've done over the last several months. And for the most part, they're doing better than expected. So that's why you're not seeing this huge upheaval in the stock market. But it's really paying close attention to, is this a trend or is this just, maybe just like like a one-off report? This is going to put pressure on politicians, though, to figure out how they're going to spend your money, because how they spend your money can also influence or impact the economy. And we have a massive social spending bill right now that's sitting before Congress with no compromise. The president today believes he may have framework to move this forward, to break this standoff between Democrats that are really holding up this bill right now because they have the majority in the House and the Senate, so they should be able to pass it. And timing matters for him because he's leaving on this overseas trip. He wants to show that he can lead domestically so that he can also lead on the world stage. So that timing matters. But there's also a larger timeline that's really important, which is that the government runs out of funding at the beginning of December. We've passed this temporary bill to keep the lights on. And keeping the government funding through the next year is part of this massive spending bill. There's also the infrastructure bill that actually has bipartisan support that's being held up as well. So the stakes are high. We're going to watch to see what happens if a deal comes together. Could be today, could be in several weeks from now. But the economic data in the background, both on economic activity and also a jobs report we're going to get next Friday, is an element of incentivizing politicians to start to move. We'll see if that actually works. In the meantime, we have a fun story on our website. Ever think about who fact checks your food labels? Turns out not many people before it hits the shelves. Believe it or not. And that can be an issue for some companies. We learned in reporting on this story about a lawsuit about the amount of strawberries that are actually in strawberry Pop-Tarts. Apparently, that's an issue for someone. And the trend here is that we're seeing more lawsuits when it comes to claims of false food labeling. So we have a bigger picture on our website, important for you if you're curious about what you're eating or you're really passionate about strawberries in your Pop-Tarts. All that and more on smarternews.com. Have a great day. Okay, so I didn't quite do it exactly in 3 minutes, but it was pretty close. It was pretty close. So what do you guys think? Did you like this version? It allows me to control the time a little bit more when I have a little bit of a script and I can watch the countdown instead of doing an Instagram live. Maybe this is a podcast that we could put up once a day, and then you could listen to it on a better microphone than what takes place on Instagram Live. So those are your options. Not flawless, but I'm really curious your thoughts because you're the one that matters the most to me. It's not just the American economy that you matter most to. You also matter to me very much. So let me know your feedback. Let me know your ideas, and we'll have more as always on Smarter News. Have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.